Hello to all good people of the world. This is Paul Whittakin coming back to you today with the universal law of numbers, and I'm going to do that quickly. I'm going to put my universal law of numbers up there. Okay, now you can see them. There they are. We brought the universe with us today. So what I have is I have the universal law of numbers. I do have a universal law of numbers theory that is based on the universal law of numbers, and my universal law of numbers and my theory of the universe is much different than anybody else's law of the universe because it truly is universal. It's something that everybody can understand. And I thank the universe for that very much because I think it wants to be understood by everyone and not just a choice few. And whatever I'm saying does not... I'm not talking derogatorily about anybody else's theory about anything. Anybody can have their theories and I can adopt them and I can choose not to adopt them and I can learn something from them and I can choose not to, and et cetera, et cetera. And all of these great people, scientists, mathematicians, philosophers of, days gone by, I'm very appreciative of all of the things that they do and gave us because they're basically just people who choose to think for themselves. And anyway, the reason that the universal law of numbers works is simple, and that's why it works, and that's why it makes sense, and it's all about that. And it's the day God created the universe, He gave us that, and He did not make a mistake. And basically what the universal law of numbers is, it's a code, and it's based on some very simple arithmetic, but the arithmetic, even though it's simple, I'll try and bring that a little closer for you, even though it's simple, it's very profound at the same time. And the way I discovered it, or the way I found it, was simply by using the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and I squared them, and I took them to the third power, fourth power, fifth power, sixth power, seventh power, and I noticed that when I got to the eighth power, that the whole cycle reversed or returned again to the original sequence, and it continued on into infinity forever and ever. So, let's do it with the fours, for instance. 4 times 4 is 16, times 4 is 64, times 4 is 256, times 4 is 1,024, times 4 is 4,096, times 4 is 16,384, times 4 is 65,536. And that's how I get the code 7, 1, 6 and 2 is 8, and 5 is 13, 4. 1 and 2 is 3, and 4 is 7. 4 and 9 and 6 is 10 is 1. Well, it's 19, which is a 1. And 1 and 6 is 7, and 3 is 10, and 8 is 18, and 4 is 22. So 2 and 2 is a 4. So that's how we come up with the codes, and the codes are 24871, 24871, and I was doing it, I was doing it with the 4s, 714, 714. We see 417, 417. 417 and 714 is the same code. We also see 258. We also see 528, and what we have is the recurring codes 258, 248751, and the 714. So once again, 417, 714, 147, it doesn't matter which order they're in because they represent equilateral triangles inside of a circle. And if we connect the dots, and the circle is divided up into 9 equal parts, then they will always be those very triangles. Now, 248751 is the 369 code. What I discovered here, and I'm calling the universal law of numbers, is the 369 code. And I just told you where I got it from. And that's where it comes from. And the interesting thing about it is that it shows that our universe is a 7-dimensional object because it goes to the 7th dimension, and then when it gets to the 8th dimension, it starts right back over where it was in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, starts right back over again where it was in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and that process will go on to infinity. Those codes will reappear again and again and again in the only sequence that we have in our universe. So where all of this comes from, it kind of starts with the multiplication table. And what I try and point out is, and I've done it over and over and over in many different ways, that these numbers with this code, 248751, which is the 369 code, the numbers will always fit. So I did things like this, and I'll show you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, okay, going that way. 1 through going to infinity that way will always give you the 369 code going across, will always give you the 369 code going down, and that's just showing you how that works in one dimension. But I have multiplied these numbers in every single way, 248751 against itself, 248751 against the codes 714 and 417, and the codes 181818, which are also part of the codes here, 181818. And what you get is you get the codes always reappearing in perfect sequence, in perfect symmetry, because everything fits, and the reason everything fits is because of this. That's why everything fits. And these are just other demonstrations of that. You can do your own. 181818 against 248751 gives us 248751. 248751, 248751. 258258 against 124875, which is 248751. You get 248751. You see all of these going down, 248751. Going across, we get the other codes, 258, 417, 825, 714, 4582, 174. The thing always fits, and that's what I try and point out. That's the key. That's why it's not hard to understand. All of the pieces always fit, and that's why I call them the building blocks of the universe, because they fit. And I will show you maybe a different kind of a way of looking at that. And what we do is, if I take this right here and I show it to you in this light, you might begin to understand what I'm talking about. So if I reduce these numbers, then I come up with this. That's just the multiplication table. And we get 248751 code, 369 code, up and down to infinity. And I try and point that out by showing it to you like this. So once we hit 9 in the first dimension, everything starts to revolve around and it repeats itself again. So 248751 code this way, 248751 code this way, and I will point out some things to you so you understand about what I mean by that. Here we have 9s. Well, the 9s is the 248751 code 2. That's the 369 code. 248751 code, 369 code, it means exactly the same thing. But we see there that we get the 9s. Here, in these numbers going down, we'll get the numbers 248751, and they'll be separated by a 3, 6, or a 9 number. Here it's 875421. And the curious thing about the 248751 numbers is if you put them next to each other, you will always get either a 3, 6, or a 9. 8 and 7 is 15, 1 and 5 is a 6, 5 and 4 is 9, 2 and 1 is 3. 3, 6, 9. 7 and 5 is 3, 1 and 8 is 9, 4 and 2 is 6. That's 3, 9, 6. 5 and 1 is 6, 2 and 7 is 9, 8 and 4 is 12 is the 3. That's 6, 9, 3. So when you put the 248751 numbers together in any way possible, you will always get 3, 6s, and 9s. But there's something a little bit more to it than that too. But anyway, this is what it looks like when you show the 248751 numbers in purple and the 369 numbers in red. You can see how there's a symmetrical alignment there, and it appears as though the 248751 numbers fit inside of these squares. Well, they do fit inside of these squares. And that's the universe showing us how the building blocks fit together. And if we want to, if we just want to look at the 369 numbers like that, we can see that they take on this arrangement. And if we want to look at the 248751 numbers by themselves, we can see that they take on that arrangement. And if we look at them together one more time, we can see that they fit inside of each other. The 248751 numbers fit inside of the 369 numbers. And that's what I wanted to point out with you about that. And I do repeat myself sometimes because I think well, for me, I'm just repeating over and over what the universe is telling me. Now, what I say is it's a universal code. Not only is it a universal law of mathematics and a universal code and a universal law of nature, it's universal in the respect that everybody in the universe can understand it, and it's using the universal language of the numbers 1 through 9, which we can call the alphabet if we like, because it's an alphabet that everyone in the universe can understand. And, starting at first graders, second graders, third graders, and I'm going to give you a little bit of a first grade, third grade, second grade type of demonstration here in the beginning, but it will build up to something that's a little bit more profound, and I hope you bear with me. So don't get excited if it looks like I'm doing third grade arithmetic, because I always have a point. What I show is that if you multiply any of the numbers 1 through 9 by any of the other numbers 1 through 9, you're going to get the 369 code. And as we realize, we really only have those 9 numbers. We can add zeros to them. We can put them next to each other and call them numbers, but they are always only the numbers 1 through 9. If we do it 1 with the number 1, we see 369. And separated by the 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, 1 numbers. In the case of 1, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But if we look at them, 1 and 2 is a 3, 4 and 5 is a 9, 7, 8 is a 6. Excuse me because I made a little mistake when I was doing this just now, kind of fast. But anyway, with 2 numbers, times 1, 2, 3 through 9, you get 2, 4, 6, 8, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. 2 and 4 is 6, 8 and 1 is 9, 5 and 7 is 3. It's the 369 code, and the 369 code with 3's goes 369, 369, and we know that. Because it's 369, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, and they will reduce to 3, 6, and 9. With 4, here we have 3, 6, 9, 4, 8, 7, 2, 1, 5, 3, 9, 6. With 5, we have the same thing. 693, 639. And this always goes, it's a revolving sphere, so to speak. In one dimension, we're talking about a circle, but it revolves around over and over and over again, so the sequences carry on to infinity. And when we get to 6, we get that sequence. When we go to 7, we get that sequence. Same thing going on 369 code with the 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, 1s. And when we get to 9, it comes up like that. Okay? And I showed you just momentarily, well, a moment ago, that those are the 369 codes. We have 9s as the 369 code, if you like. We have 181, 818. We have 248751. We have 714, which is also called 417 or 471, and we have 528, and those are our universal codes. They're the only universal codes that we have, and they come from the universe. Okay, so what I say is we have this code 248751. Well, we know that if we put any 2 of those together, we're going to get 3 6s and 9s. And I just explained that. But if you take these numbers, you can get any number because, well, let's do it like this. Oh, before I do that, I want to point out that 3s and 6s can turn into only 3s and 6s and 9s. 9s can only turn into 9s, okay? So that's how the 248751 is special, because they can turn into all numbers. 3s, 6s, and 9s, as well as, the 248751. So I just kind of illustrate that here with this one. So if we take 1s, 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, or 1 times 1 times 1 times 2, 1 times 3, we get the sequence 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, which is the 369 code. If we do it with 2s, we get 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, which reduced is 2, 4, 6, 8, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and that's all of the numbers 1 through 9 only appearing once. With the 3s and the 6s, we get 639 with 6s, and with 3s we get 369. Okay, that goes on to infinity. 3 plus 3 is 6, plus 3 is 9, plus 3 is 12, plus 3 is 15, plus 3 is 18, plus 3 is 21, plus 3 is 24, plus 3 is 27. And that's how that 369 code comes up. And it's the same thing. So the 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, 1 numbers will give you each number between 1 and 9. 3s and 6s can only turn into 3s and 6s and 9s, and 9 can only turn into a 9. So what I say is we have another universal law inside of the universal law of numbers, and it says that if you add any number, 9, if you add the number 9 to any other number, it will always reduce to whatever that number is. So it doesn't matter. You can almost ignore the 9 in that sense. If we took 9 and 4, 94, for instance, 94 would be a 4. If we took 79, 7 and 9, it would be a 7. Okay, so anytime you have 9 with any number, it's going to just reduce to that other number. And any number at all, whenever you multiply any number by the number 9, it will then subsequently reduce to a 9. And that's another interesting, powerful aspect of the universal law of numbers. Now I'm going to do it with the division, and we're going to find something that's a little bit more complicated, and I don't really know why that is or how to explain that. It may be that the universe is not really dividing itself at all, because basically it's expanding. We understand, all of us, excuse me for that the universe is expanding, and the universal law of numbers shows you that, because if we look at it, we can see that these numbers will get bigger and bigger and bigger. For instance, 5 times 5 is 25. 25 times 5 is 125. 125, 5 times 125 is 625. So the numbers quickly get bigger, 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 and they get colossally, colossally big. But it's staying within this structure, which is 7-dimensional, and the universe is expanding. But anyway, we are going to just demonstrate what happens when we divide the numbers 1 through 9 by the numbers 1 through 9. And what we see is this works with any number. If you reduce it to a 9, it's going to behave like a 9. Any number, no matter how many digits it has, if you add them all up and it reduces to that number, then that number will behave exactly like that number, whatever number between 1 and 9 that it reduces to. But anyway, when we divide and we look at the 9, 6, and 3, we get these indefinite, these infinite series of numbers that is the same number that goes on to infinity. In this case, it's 3, in this case, it's 6, and in this case, it's 1. And we also notice that if we divide a number by 7, and this is true for any number that would reduce to 7, if it's a 7 number, when we divide any number, except the number 7, because if we divide 7 by 7, it's going to be 1. But any other number, if we divide it by 7, it will give us a sequence of the 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, 1 code, and that code will continue on to infinity. In this case, it comes out to be 1, 4, 2, 8, 5, 7. So if the calculator could do it, it would go 1, 4, 2, 8, 5, 7, 1, 4, 2, 8, 5, 7, 1, 4, 2, 8, 5, 7, 1, 4, 2, 8, 5, 7 to infinity. And it's the 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, 1 code because it has all of the numbers 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, 1, and none of them are repeating. But the 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, 1 code can come in different orders, but it still is the 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, 1 code. So we'll do it with 2 and we'll see what happens there. Now here's the thing I wanted to... Okay, so these are going to be where the asterisk is 3, 6, 9 numbers. Because in the 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, 1, 3, 6, 9 code, the 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, 1 numbers are always separated by 3, 6, or 9 numbers. Now, in this case, I don't know what this reduces to. I would have to come to some determination on where to stop the sequence. But I see that we have, when I'm reducing the other numbers, that we have 2, 7, 5, 1, and 8. So I'm going to put a 4 in there because that's the missing link. So I'm going to say it's 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, 1. And I think the universe is going to let me do that. And now let's do it with the 2 numbers. So when it's 9, 6, or 3, we get the infinite sequence of a 1 number. goes on to infinity. And what I've conjectured in my theory is that the reason they do that is because, because they have to expand with the universe as well. And I'm giving a lot of support to that. But whatever it is, here we're missing the 8. But now if I stick an 8 in there, I get 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, 1, separated by 3 6s and 9s. Now, the thing is, if we want to find 3 6s and 9s in these sequences, all we have to do is add them by 3s, 6s, or 9s. 3 2s is a 6, 3 3s is a 9, 3 6s is 18, and that would be a 9. So that's what I'm saying there. And if we come to the 3 number, it's a little bit different because 3s and 6s are, well, like I said, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, 1 is a group of numbers. 3, 6, and 9 is a group of numbers. 9 is sort of the easiest to understand because it's always a 9, but the 3s and 6s have their own personality. And obviously when we're doing 9, 6, 3 here, well, 3 is dividing 3 by itself, which is going to be a 1. So I don't know exactly what to put in there, and I don't know exactly what to say about that, but I do see that there is some form of a sequence that appears there. A 3, 6, 9 number and a 6. Don't know. 5, a 3, 6, 9 number and a 3, 6, 9 number and a 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, 1 number and a 3, 6, 9 number and a 3, 6, 9 number. But whatever it is, I don't really know what to say about that, and I'm going to leave it at that. When we go to the 4s, then we see the same thing going on all over again. We get the infinite sequence here of 3s, infinite sequence here of 6s, infinite sequence here of 4s. And as far as the 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, 1 code, we have 2, 4, 8, 5, and 1. So I threw in a 7 there. And I think that that's what it's trying to do. Now, I'm just thinking of something. There probably could have been something I could have technique I'm thinking about I may have used to figure out that puzzle already now that I'm thinking about it. Okay, so anyway, when we get to the 5s, the same thing is going on. 5, 3s, 6s, and they go on to infinity, and they will add up to 3, 6, 9 numbers, and we get the 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, 1, and I threw in a 2 there because that's the missing one. 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, 1. And if we look at the 6 numbers, we get a sequence that looks like that. And I see something in sequence going on. I see 1, 3, 6, 2, 3, 6. And up there, I'm going to refrain from commenting. But I think what I should have done was I should have come up with the number, what I'm thinking is, I should have come up with the number here going on to the point where this becomes a 2 and then use the same amount of numbers in these ones, and that would give me which number that is. And I'm going to do that actually when I'm finished this. And we get the 7, and the 7 doesn't have the 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, 1 sequence because when we divide 7 by 7, it's obviously 1, but everything else remains the same. We get the 3, 6, 9 spot here, and we have all the 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, 1 sequence. 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, 1. And with the 8s, it's going to be the same thing. We have 2, 4, 8, 7, put a 5 in there, and 1 with the 3, 6, 9 numbers. And with the 9s, it's just going to come out to a 9. That's why I put a 9 in there. And you can get a 9 out of here, just like I showed you with the those numbers before. The 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, 1 numbers you can find any number, 1 through 9 with them. But anyway, I put in a 9 there, and I get 1, 9, 9, 6, 9, 9, 3, 9, 9. Now, if I look at this somewhere in here. Okay, just bear with me here. Something didn't seem to show up. Okay, but what I'm trying to point out here is what we have all of these sequences when we divide by 7. And here they are here, 2, 8, 5, 7, 1, 4. Here it's 1, 4, 2, 8, 5, 7. 7 doesn't have one. And 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, 1 is 6 numbers. So that's why if 7 doesn't have one, that explains that. I don't know if you get that, but anyway, here it's 7, 1, 4, 2, 8, 5. Here it's 5, 7, 1, 5, 2, 8. Here it's 4, 2, 8, 5, 7, 1. Here it's 2, 8, 5, 7, 1, 4. And here it's 1, 4, 2, 8, 5, 7. Okay, so basically what happened was on the 6th revolution, it came back to where it was, how it started. And let me see if I can kind of point that out. So with 9, it was 285. So let's find out where it started with 285 before. And it will be on 2. So the difference between 9 and 2 is 7, but as we know, with the 7 divided by 7 was a 1. So basically what happened was these numbers going across, each one is a different one until we get to the 6th revolution again. And going down, all the numbers are giving us a new sequence too. And all the ones going down would be 285, 248751 numbers, different ones. 248751, 248751, 248751, if we put them in order. This one on top, underneath this one, underneath 7 doesn't have one. Underneath that, if we put this one, then we would see that going across we have the 248751 code, and downwards we have the 248751 code, and here's actually what I was looking for, and that makes it easier to understand. So here we see it, 218754, that's the 248751 code because we have no repeating number. All of these are the 248751 code going down, and all of them are the 248751 code going across, and we see that it repeats itself. So it started with 285, then it gets to the 7th time, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th, and it will start the whole process all over again, just like it does in the original. Universal law of numbers. The sequence starts again once you hit the 7th power, which is the 6th revolution in this case, because this is x to the 1, the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, but it's x squared through x to the 7th, but it's a sequence of 6 numbers. These are 6 number sequences. And what I noticed there was, if I want to chop those up a little bit, I get basically 2 and 1, 8 and 7, 5 and 4. Well, that's going to be 3, 6, 9. If I go the next one, which is 8 and 4, 5 and 1, 7 and 2. The next one was 5, 2, 7, 4, 1, 8, and take them in twos. I get these sequences 3, 6, 9, 3, 6, 9, 7, 2, 9, 6, 3, 9, 6, 3, 9, 2, 7, 9. And that's the 279 is sort of a secondary code within the code, because after all, this is the universe and it's not, all that simple. But what I noticed was, and I think this is the main thing that I got out of this today, was that this is what I showed you in the beginning, but what I did was I circled all of the numbers that are perfect squares. And what I see here is a sequential thing going on. 3 here, they're separated by 1. Perfect square, separated, perfect square, separated, perfect square, perfect square, separated, perfect square, separated, perfect square. You see that. It goes in 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, and 8. They all have that. But what we have here is the 1 numbers. These, I call them the 1 numbers. They're all perfect squares because 1 times 1 is 1, and that's a perfect square. And the 4 numbers all give perfect squares. and the 9 numbers all give perfect squares. And what I'm assuming and believing, and I will understand better as time goes on, is that that's the row here, 1, 4, 9. It's just the beginning of the sequence. You see, this sequence, it goes to infinity, and it repeats. And I don't have a super computer to do that for you, but I have the supercomputer of all supercomputers that does it for me, and it is the universal law of numbers supercomputer, because it can calculate any number and it always comes up with the exact correct answer. So that's all for me today. I will be signing out. Now I'm wishing everybody in the world peace and happiness. And I hope that I've given you some more insight today about the universal law of numbers, which I also make the statements about in many very bold statements. But I think what the universal law of numbers is, once again, it is the universe giving us a universal way of understanding itself in universal, simple to understand language, the language with the alphabet 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and it's a universal theory of the universe that everybody in the universe can understand, at least on one level or another. So, peace and happiness to the world. Paul Whittakin checking out.